Hey guys, I want to try something new with chapter 9. I'm going to try to do these little videos of me doing some of the examples. Hopefully that helps you when you're doing the independent practice and cuts down on some of the questions. All right, so it's hopefully going to look kind of like it does when we're in class. I got a special new tool uh, that helps me draw on here, so I'm still learning how to use it, so bear with me if it looks a little sloppy. Chapter 9, I think a lot of you are going to uh, find some relief here. We're getting away from statistics, and we are now moving into geometry. And chapter 9 is mostly all about area, which is a little more straightforward than the statistics. We're looking at mainly using a formula, and it's just plugging in numbers. So I think that'll really help some of you um, that were struggling in the chapter 12. So 9, lesson 1, we're looking at parallelograms. That's our main thing that we're looking at here. So we're going to find the area of a parallelogram, and then we're also going to find any missing dimensions if they give us the area. So we keep talking about how math builds on itself, and this is one of those things. So we already did algebra, where we have variables and we know how to find a missing number. And that's basically what this is. We're just using algebra to find some missing number. It could be a missing side or it could be the area. Some vocab. All right, so we're talking geometry. So we're looking at shapes. A polygon is a closed figure formed by 3 or more straight sides. All right, so some of the typical ones, we're talking triangles, we're talking quadrilaterals, we're talking, pentagon, octagon, those sort of things. A parallelogram is a quadrilateral with opposite sides parallel and opposite sides the same length. So let me try my drawing here. Parallelogram, opposite sides. Opposite sides parallel means these are opposite. They're across from each other. So they are parallel. And then our other opposite sides would be right here. So we would have that and that. All right, so this and this are parallel, and this are parallel. And we can show that with just a little arrow here saying that and that are parallel, and that are parallel. So that's a parallelogram. A rhombus is a parallelogram with 4 equal sides. So normally we think of that kind of like a diamond. All right, and all the sides are going to be the same length. Now, our key for today is going to be finding the area of a parallelogram. And what I would recommend to you is having a like a note sheet, and you're going to keep this for the whole lesson or the whole chapter. So you're going to write area. Hopefully your writing is better than this. Of parallelogram. And then this is the key. This is the formula. A equals B times H. Area equals base times height. All right, so base times height, that's our big thing for area of a parallelogram. And as we scroll down in this example here, you're going to see something that's very, very important, okay? The base can be any side, all right? We usually think of the base as the bottom, and that's fine if you're using that. The height is where we need to really, really be aware. So the height is not just one of the sides. So if I draw my parallelogram here, all right? This is not the height, all right? I have my base right here. Let's call that 5. This is not the height. The height of a parallelogram has to go from the base to the opposite side, and it has to form a 90-degree angle. So that's the key. It has to form a 90-degree angle. So base to the opposite side, and it has to form a 90-degree angle. And let's say that was 3. So notice this, because it's not forming a 90-degree angle, is not my height. All right, base, height, the most important thing, number 1 is we know the formula. Number 2, base and height have to form a 90-degree angle. And then all I do is plug in my numbers, okay? I don't know my area. I do know my base is 5 times, and I do know my height is 3. So 5 times 3 is 15. So area of my parallelogram is 15. And our label is going to be units squared. When you're talking area, you're always something squared. So I don't have inches or centimeters, so I'm just saying units. If it was inches, you would say inches squared. But the key is I have my formula, I plug in my base and my height, and then I do the multiplying. Now let's look at this first example they give us. Find the area of the parallelogram. Now they gave us these blocks to make it easy to count. So what I'm going to look at is my base. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so my base is 6. And then remember, height has to form a 90-degree angle. So I'm going to, don't have to be right there. I could be over here, anywhere that goes from the base to the opposite side with a 90-degree angle. So they already drew a dotted line, and that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so my height is 8. Always start with your formula, area equals base times height. Plug in what you know, 6 times 8, area equals 48. And we're just going to call that square units because they don't give us an actual unit. So that's really all we're doing, is we are plugging in numbers. Find the area of this parallelogram. Notice what they did here. They gave us this. It kind of tricks us. That is not the height because it doesn't form a 90-degree angle. So my base is 20. And then notice they formed a 90-degree angle outside of the shape, and that's completely fine. So we still are going from the base. They just extended it. They used a dotted line, and then they extended it up to the opposite side, forming a 90-degree angle, and that's 11. So our base is 20, our height is 11. 20 times 11 gives us 220. And they do give us a unit, so this would be square centimeters, or centimeters squared. Notice how they put that there. If we're looking at these examples here, okay, my base, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My height, they already gave that to me with the 90-degree angle. I have 1, 2, 3. So area equals base times height, 6 times 3. My area equals 18. So I would write 18, and they don't give me anything, so I'm just going to call it units squared. Over here, base times height. My base, so area equals base times height. Area equals, my base is 4 times my height, 90-degree angle to the top is 16. So I would do 4 times 16, and that is 84. Nope, sorry. 64. And they give me meters squared. So if they give you the base and the height, all we're doing is multiplying. All of this is using the formula. We're going to be using formulas for everything in this chapter, and it makes things so much easier. Now, here's where we need to use our algebra skills. If they give me the area, okay, so look in this example here, they give me the area. That's not the base. It says area equals 45 inches squared. And they give me, we're going to call this the base, okay, because this side is the same as this side. So this would also be 9 down here. So they give me the area and they give me the base. What I don't know is the height. So I'm looking for the height. This is why we always start with our formula. Area equals base times height. I do know the area, so I just plug in what I know. I know 45 equals, I know my base, I don't know my height. So 45 equals 9h, 9 times h. This is exactly what we were doing for weeks when we were doing algebra. How do we solve this? Well, we do the opposite operation. So I'm going to divide by 9, do it to both sides, and I'm going to have h equals 45 divided by 9 is 5. So 5 equals h. H is my height. Here's where we have to be aware also. My height is 5, and we're talking inches here. So 5 inches, not inches squared. Only the area is in square units. The base and the height are just regular inches. So let's do one more example down here. Okay, so for this one, they give me, so I'm gonna start my formula, area equals base times height. They give me the area, they say it's 48. That equals, I don't have my base this time. They don't give me a base, but they do give me a height. So I'm gonna say my height is 6 times b. Remember, I can flip-flop these because it's multiplying. So 6b equals 48. How do I figure this out? Divide by 6, divide by 6, b equals 8. What's my label? Meters, 8 meters. So that's how we find a missing piece of a parallelogram, either the height or the base. And the big key today, all right, make sure that you are always starting with your formula. Formula for a parallelogram, area equals base times height. Make sure that your height is a 90-degree angle to your base, and you should be all set. So your assignment is the independent practice. So independent practice, make sure that you are showing all of your work. Make sure you're showing your formula and writing everything down, and then taking a picture and sending it, or filling out the Google slide. It should be more clear this time, so whichever one you choose, that's up to you. All right, so good luck. If you have any questions, please let us know. Thanks a lot.